Back in December 2005, do you remember there was a debate in Chicago between John Yoo and the Notre Dame professor Doug Kessel? If you remember this, it's because you heard this famous audio from that.
If the president deems that he's got to torture somebody, including by crushing the testicles of the person's child, there is no law that can stop that. No treaty. And also no law by Congress. That's what you wrote in the August 2002 memo.
I think it depends on why the president thinks he needs to do that.
Depends, he said. Doing that to someone's child might be totally kosher. Depends on the motivation of the president of the United States in wanting to do it. That is the lawyer the Bush administration called on to write legal opinions that said it wasn't illegal to torture anymore. In the Justice Department report on what John Yoo did, he's also quoted as saying this under questioning. Question: what about ordering a village of resistance to be massacred? Is that a power that the president could legally? Answer from John Yoo: yeah, although let me say this. So certainly that would fall within the commander-in-chief's power over tactical decisions. Question: to order a village of civilians to be exterminated? Answer from John Yoo: sure, why not? Law schma, I'm John Yoo, and whatever you want me to okay, I'll okay. Massacring villages full of civilians? Crushing the testicles of a child in front of his parents to get the parents to talk? Yeah, that's America. John Yoo and Jay Bybee, who was John Yoo's boss and is now a federal judge, are basically home free now. This Justice Department report says they shouldn't be disbarred or have any other action taken against them for writing and signing off on these declarations that torture was legal. Meanwhile, today, what federal officials call one of the most serious terrorism threats to the United States since 9/11 ended with a guilty plea in a civilian court of a sworn terrorist who was arrested as a criminal, read his rights, given access to a lawyer, and who cooperated with authorities while he was questioned legally without being tortured. Najibullah Zazi's case has already led to charges against his father, his uncle, 2 friends of his, and a New York imam. And now he will do time, likely a life sentence, in an American prison. And in the face of effective counterterrorism efforts like that, the John Yoos and Judge Jay Bybees of the world and all the people delighted that John Yoo and Jay Bybee got away with what they did will keep fantasizing about an America that reacts to terrorism by torturing children in front of their parents, instead of just doing what works. We're joined now by Michael Isikoff, investigative correspondent with Newsweek magazine, also an MSNBC contributor. Mr. Isikoff, thanks very much for your time.
Good evening, Rachel.
Did we learn anything new from the OPR report about what was actually done to prisoners?
I actually thought it was the most illuminating report we've had yet. About this whole controversy about all what was going on in terms of the enhanced interrogation techniques. It sort of walks step by step about how the administration came to approve these tactics, the back and forth between the CIA and the Justice Department and the White House. In terms of one single document, I think it's the most exhaustive we've had yet. And an direct answer to the question, yeah, we got some interesting new glimpses, some of them a bit gruesome, into actually what was being done. One of the issues that comes up in this report is Justice Department lawyers, after John Yoo and Jay Bybee have left, are pressing for, they're being asked to approve once again the tactics being used. And one of them, Dan Levin, says, I need to know more about what you're actually doing. Tell me what this is like. Tell me what, say, sleep deprivation means. And there's a passage in the report where he learns and discovers, I think you may have the quote, he learns that detainees are being shackled in a standing position, naked except for a diaper, with their hands handcuffed at hand level to a chain bolted to the ceiling. In some cases, a prisoner's hands would be shackled above the head for more than 2 hours at a time. In other cases, a prisoner would be shackled in a seated position to a small stool so that they had to stay awake to keep his balance. Now, we've heard the description sleep deprivation before. We haven't had that kind of vivid word picture. And I think if you take through all the techniques being used, it does raise, once again, some serious questions. What was really going on here? What did this look like?
Former Vice President Cheney has repeatedly said that a specific CIA memo that he saw proved that waterboarding was an effective interrogation technique, and he said that he wanted that memo unclassified. You wrote this weekend, though, that even though that memo has not been released, because of the OPR report, we now essentially know what was in it?
Right, and it would be, the contents would be a bit awkward for the former vice president. One of the claims being made for the effectiveness of waterboarding and these techniques is that from Abu Zubaydah, the first guy subjected to them, the CIA was able to get information that led to the arrest of Jose Padilla, the alleged dirty bomber, in May of 2003. Well, as the Justice Department report points out, Jose Padilla was actually arrested in May of 2002, before Zubaydah was waterboarded, before these enhanced techniques were applied. So and as we reported last year in Newsweek, actually it was FBI agent Ali Soufan and one of his colleagues that got this information using traditional law enforcement techniques. So one of the chief claims being used by the CIA and Vice President Cheney for the effectiveness of these techniques was called, in this Justice Department report, plainly inaccurate.
Unless they have some sort of magical time travel technique that we haven't learned about either. Newsweek's Michael Isikoff, thank you for your reporting. Thank you for reading between the lines in the way that you did in order to get this reporting done this week, and it's really helpful. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Rachel.